Good. Hi, Safe Jerseyans. This is Matt Rooney, your Blogger-in-Chief. I'm here with someone who I ordinarily don't get to see in South Jersey, Senator Mike Doherty. He's from
the 23rd Legislative District, 100 Warren counties.
Which is all the way up by the water gap.
It's, up near 78 and Interstate 80, up near the Delaware water gap.
So he has a long drive home, so we don't want to bug him long, but he was kind enough to come down to Voorhees in Camden County to talk to us about his fair school funding plan, which would replace the current system that's been dictated by the Supreme Court of New Jersey and has been the subject of much abuse, something you talked about tonight. Yes. Could you just briefly explain to our readers why we need to replace the current system with your plan?
Sure. Well, you think you elect legislators to go to Trenton and stand up for their constituents, but the entire process for how we fund our schools has been hijacked by the state Supreme Court. We're in Voorhees Township tonight. Voorhees Township, because of the income tax, every man, woman, and child is sending in 5 times as much per person to Trenton. And then Trenton divides up that money as school aid, and it sends it to towns such as Asbury Park at a ratio of 10 to 1. So the folks in Voorhees Township are sending 5 times as much money to Trenton. They're getting 1/10 the amount that's going to school districts such as Asbury Park, and that's why your property taxes are so high in Voorhees Township and suburban towns throughout New Jersey, because you're getting pennies back for every dollar you send to Trenton. Meanwhile, we're rewarding failure by sending many multiples of that to the urban areas and the Abbott School District. So the whole process has been hijacked by the Supreme Court. It's resulting in high property taxes for suburban folks in the state of New Jersey, and it needs to change.
So the end result would be, instead of having this incredibly complex formula, it'd be about $7,500 per student, regardless of where they are.
Right now, everything in New Jersey is a scam. Every program, you turn over every rock is a scam. My program is really simple, easy to administer. Everybody has skin in the game. After you collect the money progressively through the income tax, if you make more, you pay more. The bottom third in New Jersey pays 0. We take that pot of money, which is over $10 billion, we divide it up equally for every student. It's about $7,500 a student. And that goes to every student, regardless of where that student lives, regardless of what family that student came from, what type of family, because we've already accounted for economic differences when we collected the income tax.
2 things that popped into my head while I was listening to your presentation tonight. First off, a procedural question.
Yes.
We implement your plan. We save a significant amount of money. For some places like Voorhees, it could be, tens of millions of dollars.
Yes.
What happens at that point? How am I to be guaranteed that that money's going to work its way back to me? How do I know that that money's not just going to be continued to be spent on inefficient school districts or failing schools or to create even more inefficiencies?
Yes. Well, first of all, the members of the Voorhees Township community, they have to vote to approve the budget. So it's my intention when Voorhees Township gets $20 million more, that go right back to the property taxpayers, the homeowners, the business owners that are paying their property taxes, to reduce their property tax burden. That's going to have to be voted on, how much is spent. Now, I want to put in every safeguard I need to make sure that money goes right back to the homeowners, right back to the property taxpayers. I don't want that. It would be a total waste of my time to do all these meetings, to change the system, to have that money spent and blown out. Now, I will tell you the safeguard is that the voters of the town have to approve the school budget. So, for example, if $20 million more comes in and the school board tries to spend every penny of it, well, there's going to be holy heck to pay. The voters are going to turn that down. But I am willing to amend my legislation any way necessary to make sure that when Voorhees gets that additional over $20 million, that money goes right back to the taxpayers and it does not go to additional spending to waste that money.
My second question had more to do with what you see as the final result here. I know you're a very conservative guy. I don't think you would dispute that. In our blog, that's a compliment. It's not a bad thing. I happen to be a big school choice proponent. I'm not sure of your exact position on school choice, but I look at your plan and I say that's great. It gets us part of the way. We eliminate some of the incentives, if you want to look at it that way, for abuse. But schools that are failing can still be assured that they're going to get that $7,500. It's better that they're not getting $20,000 per student like they may be getting now, but they're still being rewarded for failure. How, after we implement your plan, do we get the rest of the way and move it towards a system where we can create a strong incentive to only reward schools with money that are actually serving the students?
Yes. Well, many of our suburban schools are excellent. They're doing a great job. A lot of our urban schools are failing. the students are not getting educated. So my plan is really step one. Step two would be, once the money, every student gets about $7,500 per student, okay, well, let's start getting these kids out of these failing public school systems. Let's give them the alternative. And Newark's a good example, spending $30,000 on failure versus less than a third of that, less than $10,000 at the Robert Treat Academy, which is an excellent education.
Right.
So I think we'll see more of that. And so I view my plan as step one, every kid gets the same amount of money. And then step two would be, let's get these kids out of these failing schools. Let's let them take that money and go to schools that'll give them an education.
Now, for anybody who's watching our video, I know you gave a website where they can go and not only learn more about the plan, but also do some of the comparative analysis that you provided in Voorhees Township.
Yes. Yes, that would be www.fairschoolfunding.com. And you can go and plug your town in and see how much better your town would do under the Fair School Funding Plan.
Wonderful. It's a great presentation. It's something definitely worth looking into, and I think it's notable that we have Republican legislators that are trying to come up with plans, which is something more than I can say for the other side. They've abdicated a lot of it to the Supreme Court. So, you know, I can at least say that your constituents are definitely getting their money's worth. I don't know if they're getting their money's worth for their schools, but they're getting their money's worth. One final question for you.
Yes.
Since this is also a political blog, we talk about public policy issues, also talk about politics.
Yes.
You're traveling around the state.
Yes.
You're clearly a man that has a command of the issues. And even on this very cold night here in Voorhees, you turned out a few dozen people way outside of your district to hear you talk. There's been a lot of talk about you running for U.S. Senate.
Yes.
When might we expect news about your aspirations for higher office?
Well, look, I am focused on the fair school funding. We all have our passions,
right,
and I'm focused on fair school funding right now. It's the best thing I can do for the Garden State, for New Jersey residents, because the system is very unfair, it's corrupt, it rewards failure, it punishes people who work hard, and the best thing I can do for New Jersey is change how we fund our schools. And that's the Fair School Funding Plan, and that's what I'm focused on. You know, we all have a calling, and we all have missions that we have to accomplish. This is my mission, and this is what I want to accomplish. And this, frankly, will be more for New Jersey than anything a U.S. Senator can do, because the biggest part of our budget is how we fund our schools. And what's going on in New Jersey is wrong, and it has to change. And the reason I'm out of my district is because now the people in Voorhees and Camden County know how unfair the current system is and how much it has to change. And so I'm going to continue to do this, and that's the best thing I can do for New Jersey.
Well, you're always welcome in South Jersey, whether it's something like this or for a senatorial debate.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay.
Senator,
okay.
very nice to meet you, and thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.